So I'm travelling in Italy at the moment, and I'm needing to do some work on the run because work never stops, and I'm doing it from interesting places. I'm using a agent that I've created called an Alice Ideal Customer Prospect Scoring Agent. What that does is it matches people that I meet to the needs and pain points of our ideal customers. And, I've got a whole bunch of people that I've met and that I need to connect with and need to follow up on. Now, what I've done is I've imported about 41 contacts, as you can see, people who I've talked to over the last, a month or so. And what I want to do is I want to score them. So I want Alice to go and look at who they are and what they are and the business, and see, are they a good fit? Because I don't want to bother anyone if they're not a good fit. So what she's done, we use Airtable, which is a brilliant. Airtable is this base here, and Airtable will actually be the base where we hold everything. But what it's done is it's taken 41 contacts. It's made, it's got their name, their company. It's actually done a score out of 100, and what type of prospect they are. When I've contacted them, whether I've used email or personal outreach, did they respond? Which messages did I use? Did I hold a call? What resonated? Did they have objections? Were they a fit? And what it's done is it's actually pulled all of that together into this document. Now, this document here is what it created. It's and as you can see there's contact name, company, the score out of 100 as to whether it's a fit for us, what sort of tier, an A, B, C or D, when we contacted them, what channel, what message we used, what resonated, what objections were raised, what the next steps were. Now, the reason I show you this is that I'm using Alice to manage all of the people that I'm connecting with and make sure that I'm looking after them as they're interested in how Alice can be useful for them. And what this has done is it's first of all created an outreach tracker, and then what it's done is it's actually imported all of these things into my Airtable. So let me show you Airtable here. This is my Airtable base, and you can see here we've got names and emails and hang on, let me get onto so these are all the our actual customers, our prospects here. Here's a whole bunch of people that are in the database, and we've got all of the same things. What their email is, what their score is. The score means how well a fit are they, the company, what their role is. These have all been from my warm outreach, and here are some notes. And what was the channel? Did they respond? Are they interested? What their notes are? So the reason I show you this is that through Alice, I can be doing really intense, business development work, making sure that all of my customers are up to date and all of the people who are interested in Alice are up to date, simply by working through my ICP scoring. Now, if I go to my chief of staff and ask for it to give me an update on who's responded, who's not, it will look at my email, it will look at my Airtable, my database, and it will say, oh, I see this person has responded in email, we need to update them, please draft an email and reply to them. What this means for you guys is that you can work from anywhere. Now, right at the moment, I'm in the square of Vernazza. Vernazza is on the Cinque Terre in Italy, and I have just done a walk between the 5 villages, and I'm having a late afternoon lunch and doing a little bit of work. What it means is I can work anywhere and do really deep work and important work without having to switch between all of these different applications. The fact that Alice is connected to all of these applications makes my life so easy. I simply ask, can you now add that to Airtable and in the business users base? And off she goes. Yes, I can see that. The table exists. I'll fill in all the names, and it's really pretty brilliant to watch Alice do a lot of the admin work that would have taken me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to just put that in there. Now, what I get to do is what I do best, but just talk to people and see how I can help them. And if every morning I just ask, who needs some help today, I'm going to get an answer from Alice and my Airtable database about who to talk to, what to talk to them about, and how I can help them. So if you're doing sales of any description, this has now simplified your ability to connect with people from anywhere in the world in a really simple way, simply by asking a plain English question. You don't need to code, you don't need to do any of that, just use it.